All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for Plastic Memories, Episode 6.
And
all right, we left off on a cliffhanger last episode.
just a bit of a cliffhanger, yeah.
Yep. We have to figure out what happened to Ira in that instance there. Why on that sheet she didn't have that little spot filled in. So she's either not in, she's needing to get repaired, she needs to be...
Right. What kind of damage has been done, you know.
In the psychological area as well as the actual physical area.
Yep.
And then Tsukasa, what did he actually end up doing in terms of what happened?
And will this be something that changes how they view each other and maybe force them to be a bit more vulnerable because of this disaster of a situation that they found themselves in?
Yeah.
It could.
Who knows? But y'all, the only way to find out is to watch this. So without further ado, let's get into this. All right, everyone, be sure to go check out the reaction portion of the video in the description below and then come back here for the discussion. All right.
So
that was a good episode. That was a solid episode.
That was a very solid episode.
Yeah.
It was really like it had a lot of the emotional core of this show, and at the halfway point, they breached the point of no return, basically of she has limited time left. Right. So now the rest of the show,
in the know.
Right, Tsukasa's in the know, so the rest of the show can be them dealing with this whole process, right? Because it's a process, right? I just immediately after all of that stuff and all of that heartfelt whatnot, then after credits,
that's just a meme scene.
That's totally a meme scene. But as far as like timing for it, it's like oh my god.
No, there's a meme scene I know, and it's like the FBI open up kind of thing, but it's like the Oni-chan, you know, kind of.
Yeah.
Anyway. I loved so much how they brought in some more teases regarding the Kazuki and Aira backstory.
Yep.
Also had it be a source of tension internally within Aira rather than the whole team freaking out about the incident itself.
Yeah, they just skipped right past it, and it's
let's just have it all work out.
Right.
Because I don't... Okay.
Yeah.
We don't need to go into it too much, but the point is that when something has it's something that jolts the plot around a lot like that out of the blue, let the consequences of it be lessened because it didn't have proper build up to it.
Yeah.
So in this case, they did that, but had the consequences, if any, be something that go into the emotional character development or characterization of Aira and then the surrounding characters. So cool stuff. We got some comedy.
We did.
And the comedy was, actually like pretty funny at parts.
Yeah. Like the whole thing of the pen getting thrown into the rafters.
I didn't even realize what had happened.
Yeah. And it's like
this little bit. It's like just like Sherry is terrifying. Yeah. Oh my gosh, she's way scarier than Kazuki.
Right. But the idea of I mean, there's Giftias in the place, and they know that there's black market people, and who knows, there could be some people left out there. So yeah,
Sherry throws the pen. Jesus Christ, that's Jason Bourne.
Yeah. and a lot of it I felt like was like with say the shower scene, right? And the fact that they're going into the shower and it's like
yes,
like
fancy meeting you here.
Right.
Just like Naruhodo.
Yeah, like it's something where the it felt like they were basically taking, it was just very self-aware of a lot of the tropes of, we need to have the tsundere be, also going along and spying on the person because, whatever. Yeah. But then they actually, what they do kind of instead is that there's someone that's just clearly, watches too much, reality TV, right? And is just, totally obsessed with all the stuff. The other characters are just kind of like, what, okay, all right, sort of getting taken along for the ride. And even down to basically the equivalent of the guys that are constantly trying to get into the girls' shower area in other anime and stuff, except it's her, and then she gets, dragged out.
The thing that I find to be funny about this is that she's essentially isn't she a Giftias?
Yes, she is.
I'm pretty sure.
This is all part of her malfunctioning.
Right. It's it's gonna be really depressing or something in 3 episodes where she's like, yeah, actually, my time's almost over now.
No, actually, they realize I've been a wanderer for a long time now. My programming is all out.
Sleeper agent.
Let's hope she never becomes a wanderer. But
oh my god. All men, run.
Here.
Run for the hills.
Yeah.
Wear a titanium codpiece.
Oh god. But they had it be like they had there be a lot of really good like times of just Ira thinking about,
yeah,
what does this mean for me?
What does this look like in the future here? I liked also her question about whether or not humans had that kind of function with regards to memory.
Yeah.
And we kind of do. And I kind of was glad that the show was like, I kind of forgot. So the show brought it up with Sota being like, you said, where is Marcia? Like, you said you would bring it. It's like, either one, he's not old enough to understand really what happened. But the problem is, we don't know exactly what happened.
Looks like she got disintegrated.
It looked like it shut her down.
Yeah.
Well, but the thing is that, the thing is that he might know she's a robot. She's an artificial intelligence.
Yeah,
so in his brain, he thinks, okay, so she can't really die. She's just out there somewhere, and she got hurt.
Yeah, or maybe it was over so quickly, and it fully like dissolved her body, right? And then
or something,
right? And then it's like, oh, where'd she go? Like I thought I saw something for a second that looked a bit weird of her getting disintegrated. Yeah,
because he was conscious when she took him, but there's a very real possibility that he was unconscious due to terror, fear. Or even just the quickness with which she grabbed him and leapt up the building.
Yeah, like maybe he could easily have not fully seen everything.
From the inertia
blacked out, or just because of the panic and the trauma and everything, he blacks it out of his memory.
That's the other thing,
or doesn't quite remember everything that notice everything that happened, so he's not sure, and he's a little kid, so he's never had to deal with something like this.
And at that age, I would say that makes sense that he would do that.
Yep.
Although with Tsukasa, it's a little bit more nuanced what he's doing. He, doesn't want to burden Ira. It's a very typical protagonist kind of thing to do there. Don't burden the main girl, with your feelings. But that doesn't help Ira much either by doing that. It just is a neutral thing, which then leaves her to wonder.
Right.
Which is that's a relationship thing.
Oh, yeah.
Just be honest about your feelings, really.
Right.
Even if it's painful, just be honest.
And the fact that, it just helps reinforce that Kazuki is best girl, because she's like, okay, you haven't been told this yet. You kind of need to be told this, because this is, you need to know.
Yeah.
She's got half a core left. You only have 7 episodes,
Max. Probably 6.
Probably 6, and then one for, just showing the processing afterwards
7,
and whatnot.
8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, and then 13 for extra, potentially.
So, the time is limited. Room. Yeah, exactly. So...
Yeah.
Don't, yeah.
What I really like that they did here was we got a little bit more into the questions of the feelings of Ira and how she processes them. One, she doesn't. She doesn't know. She's different now also is another thing that Kazuki brought up. Given that there are feelings that she's exuding or behaviors that she's exhibiting now, she didn't when she was with Kazuki.
Yep.
So figuring out what those are going to be interesting. I like that Ira has a lot of sensitivities towards little things and stuff like that. She is an AI, essentially, maybe with a soul of a human mixed in. However they made that work, it's probably just the premise of the show. So we just accept it and move on. But little things, knowing that he wants to stick with her to the end, made her happy.
Right.
It made her really happy.
But it wasn't a simple happiness, because there was a lot of other stuff in there with that big smile, Yeah. Because it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt for both of them.
But for right now, she is the happiest she's been in a long time.
Oh yeah.
And I love that this whole thing, really, up till now in the show, has been Ira hasn't really smiled,
nope,
ever, ever.
Yeah.
That one part in the OP at the very end when she goes kind of that. That pain smile.
Yeah, the sad sort of farewell smile.
Right. This one, she's legitimately smiling, even though there is sadness in it. It's I can't help it, but I have to. And that's that's beautiful because it's also the halfway point, which means that we, as people that like to analyze the story and stuff, realize that a lot of stories end in the next episode usually.
Yeah, like there would be 2 episodes.
The
left
confession
maybe.
essentially,
right.
And then it's like.
And that's one of the things that I was actually a little bit worried about with this show is that given that the main story is going to be about Ira going away, right?
We don't have enough time with her to get attached with feelings and memories and stuff.
Especially when you're dealing with a kudere.
Yeah.
Kuderes are difficult to work with because their
they
nature,
don't give you much.
They don't give you much.
So when you use it, you have to make it worthwhile. Right. Yeah.
And to do it fast is tough.
It's counterintuitive to a kudere
because they don't give you a lot. So
we have to have moments like this have happen earlier in the show and have there be a reason for them to happen earlier in the show so that afterwards we can show more context to things that would be similar but not exactly that level of happiness.
One of my favorite things in retrospect, up till now, that they've done to help establish the tone of this show and Ira as a character.
Oh, sure.
Is when Tsukasa freaked out when she said good morning.
Oh, right.
Because one, it was a funny joke of, she's starting to take her clothes off and he's like, oh my God, she said good morning, But it's the idea that was that big of a deal because, she's a kudere.
Right.
We get it. He gets it. Everyone gets it, right? So this kind of stuff doesn't happen. But what does that look like from the outside? Since a lot of the time, almost more than from Tsukasa, we see things from Ira's perspective.
Right.
And so now that all of this is happening, now we've got just over half the show to deal with all of that stuff out in the open potentially. They could still continue, Tsukasa knows what Ira's pace is, so he might continue to just be like, this can just be a normal thing and we'll make memories and it'll be great. And we only have 6 weeks, but 6 weeks, but that's okay. I think I might have actually said that right, but
6 weeks. I'll just say, but I'll just say, as far as if you have 2 people that share their feelings and they have even less time than that, that can be some of the most powerful few weeks in a person's life ever. So let's say they confess a long time from now in terms of the 6 weeks.
Sure.
Let's say 4 weeks go by before they're both willing to be able to both honestly share their feelings at the same time.
Yeah.
Still 2 weeks.
Yeah.
If you spend 90 to 100% of your time with that person.
Yeah. You know what this makes me think of? This is going to seem like a weird connection, but it kind of fits.
Okay.
Is customer service.
Okay.
So if you're working customer service and specifically something where at a cafe or something where you're behind the counter with someone else, right? The bonds forged in those fires are fast and strong.
Okay,
right?
yes.
Because generally the situation sucks and you're spending a ridiculous amount of time with the people there. Right?
Sure.
So if
you work full time,
right? If you work full time, if you're gonna, if they're the kind of person that you could end up being friends with, you'll become friends with them very quickly, right? If not, you'll find that out very quickly,
yes.
right. And maybe this is also a kind of a personal thing for me, but growing up from age 14 to 21 or something,
you were kind of a cooter, right?
Well, yes, but also I worked a summer job.
Oh, right.
Where it was a lot of that customer service behind a counter, long hours and things like that. Which a summer, a core, So the idea of literally just how much can happen in 6 weeks. Oh yeah, a lot can happen. A lot. So I'm really excited to see what they do with all the episodes from here on out.
Personally, I would be really happy if in 2 episodes they shared their feelings for each other.
Yeah, I would too.
I would really appreciate that because there are ways that they can do it by removing a lot of the chaff of the Gifty Us's job. Sorry, both of their jobs.
Right.
And just focus it on the 2 of them exploring their relationship.
Yeah.
As friends for now, but just also as people that really care about each other. And then what do we do when it's not a sickness. There's no way we can stop this.
Right. It's just a timer that's ticking down.
Right, because a lot of these stories can get bogged down a little bit, I would say, with the things that are left unsaid because there's the hope that things will get better and work out.
Are you talking about your line, April?
I've watched plenty of other stories like this, though. Well, what I'm saying is that, and read Sanity as well, what I'm saying is that if you know that it's inevitable, there are conversations that don't have to be had or repeated.
Oh, yeah.
You could have them once, and then it's well, but let's have the moment really matter. Let's seize the day.
Because, and even if it's something where you know it's inevitable, right? Like, let's say you're reading a book and it says Nicholas Sparks on the bottom, right? And even the characters are aware of it. You know, you have stage something or other cancer or something like that, right? It's not as definite as I can tell you how many hours I have left, right? This is the timer that is counting down. Because in the other situation, it's something where you don't know when, so it's trying to get the most out of all the time you have and things like that. And but then when it ends up happening, it's a surprise, right? It's a surprise that you always knew was coming.
There's a lot of fear that happens.
Exactly. There's a lot of fear, right? Whereas now, the fear is of what the pain will be, but not of when it will be. It's something that they'll be basically staring down the entire way there.
And that is a different kind of fear.
Yes.
That is the fear of what will I do when that happens?
Right.
Will I be able to maintain my semblance of sanity? Like, will I be able to communicate clearly my feelings up until that point?
Yeah.
There's a lot that can go into that. And I think that most of the stories that I've experienced of this nature don't have a defined point by which usually those are the I'm leaving to go across the world kind of stories. Right. But then the person isn't dying.
Right, so there's always the idea that you could say it later, potentially.
Right, it's the idea that I'm going to college over here.
Right.
And you're going to become a musician.
Right, so you confess your love before you go, but you know...
But you have no money, so you can't follow me. And then it's like, oh, work. And then they somehow just find a way and they solve all the pain of it.
Or they meet up again later or something like that.
Yeah, they time skip the movie to 5 years later. And it's like, we absolved all the actual potentially interesting story and just gave you an emotionally satisfying ending.
Right.
Catharsis,
Whereas in this situation, hopefully there won't be too much of the things going unsaid because it's literally, you only have this amount of time.
Well, it's like, whether or not they'll actually communicate that they both know that they know.
Which is potentially very important.
That's some drama that can come from that.
Yes, although
Kazuki again is just like, now just be together. Just be helpful to each other.
Because be excellent to each other.
Yeah.
But
party on, dudes.
Right, because Ira knows that Tsukasa knows, and Mikasa Tsukasa, you know. And he is very much doing this normalcy, right? You know, let's enjoy the time we have left. And he's going to, of course, be very proactive about it and trying to make memories and all that stuff, and it's going to be great.
Aww.
And in a lot of ways, her knowing, him knowing, and her knowing that he knew was the most important thing, not necessarily that him knowing that she knows, right? Because then... he'll be able to take the action and she'll be able to properly respond.
Yeah, she's in the harder place as far as individual setups go.
Yep.
So it was more for her mental and emotional health that she knew that. And she can choose in some ways the setting by which she lets him know that she knows. Right.
And he won't get blindsided with it whenever she decides to let him know that, because it's letting him know that she knows, not that it's happening.
Out.
Right. Yeah. By the way, day after tomorrow,
cool.
You know.
They basically said, hey, this episode, were you worried about melodrama? We're actually going to skip a whole bunch of potential melodrama.
Yep.
And just move the story along.
Yeah.
I'm really excited now.
This show really surprises me with how, on the one hand, it'll have things that are so unbelievably cliche.
Yes, like ridiculously
cliche.
The comedy alone is like...
Yep. Absolutely.
The way they handle certain character tropes in general. Like,
sure.
Like the tsundere.
And then at the same time, like in the same breath, they'll do this thing that's just great.
Yeah.
And yeah, I love it.
I feel like this show could really go under the radar a lot because a lot of people, and myself included, would probably be one of those people, if I wasn't willing to give this show a shot, wouldn't be willing to get to some of these better parts in the show because of how tropey it is.
Right. The fact that it did have that very strong first episode, though.
The first episode is probably the biggest strength of the show thus far.
Yeah, because it really does properly set expectations. Because
so you know whether or not you're going to be interested in the show at all to begin with.
And to know that when all these points happen with Ira, where she's contemplating and things like that, that's the real meat.
Yes.
Right? And they're like, yeah, we'll throw in this other stuff to hit like the anime cliche, humor beats and whatnot. But this is what it's really about.
Right. The meat is when Ira is, forgetting about how to pour the tea. It's her having little moments where she's looking in the mirror and not saying anything.
And something I want to say that I really appreciated in Toradora.
Yeah.
There is the character of Taiga, which, as far as character design, sans white hair and red eyes, is very similar in design to Ira, right? Of very short, lots of hair.
Character design.
Character design, yeah. Not personality or anything like that. Personality is about as far removed different as possible. But one of the things that I realized, because I was rewatching a bunch of Toradora lately, as I like to do,
of course,
is that the chair that Ira has as the recharge station, Taiga has the exact same design of chair in her apartment, and there are many wonderful moments where Taiga is sitting wrapped up in a scarf, holding her knees, just like Ira does so much in this show, and she's just thinking about things.
When did Toradora come out?
2008.
Okay,
so
Toradora came out first.
But it's just oh yeah, definitely. But it's one of those things where it's like, good nods. Cool. Like, yeah.
All right. Yeah. Well, y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. It was a really good one. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get on early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us and the community there about this show, about anime in general, other stories as well, like Jacob's sci-fi novel that he wrote.
Yeah, that's right. So I wrote a sci-fi novel, and it also has some real feelsy stuff. So, maybe you should check it out because it's awesome, and it's available on Amazon. Links in the description below. It's in both hardback and ebook, so whichever one works best for you, go check it out.
Yeah, so if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all
next time.